Hey, deserving listeners, Love is Blind, Season 4. Let's see what happens.
If you ever need somebody to talk to here and you feel that you can trust, you can come to me.
Thank you.
Marshall, are you talking about me?
Depends. You had a date with Jackie?
Yes.
Okay. What'd you say to her?
What?
Did you say that you packed your stuff and you were going to leave if it wasn't with her?
Okay, so this is going okay so far. Josh is like, are you talking about me? I would hope that this isn't confrontational. I mean, there's no reason why they have to be angry at each other or hostile. I think that Marshall has reasons to say, hey, hurts my feelings that you would not tell me. Like, I was talking openly about how much I loved Jackie and you heard it and you didn't say, hey, I'm also having strong feelings for Jackie. I don't know. It just, I guess I get why you didn't say anything, but it just feels weird that you would just lie by omission like that. Okay, you could say that. Josh, hopefully, could say, yeah, I don't know. This is a weird situation, and I felt like I was in competition with you. It felt awkward. I didn't want to get into a fight with you. I didn't know what to say. So, that's understandable.
I'm not saying anything because I've heard people talking and it's deterred me. Mm-hmm. But I have caught feelings.
Okay, so Josh is saying, I have heard other people and it has... So it sounds like he's saying, if I said something out loud, it might have deterred you. Is that what he's saying?
I've heard people talking and it's deterred me. Mm-hmm. But I have caught feelings. I'm very competitive. I'm not shy from a little competition. I love the game.
I feel like there could be a potential.
So they edited that in. Who knows if that was in relation to this. There was no context to what he said in that interview. Who knows what that was referred to. But if it does refer to this, then that's pretty concerning to feel like you're in competition. There seems to be a lot of that this season. Like Micah seems to exhibit potential for that motivation. It's like, that's why you're here, is to compete with the, I don't know, it's awful.
I'm very competitive. I'm not shy from a little competition.
You're not shy from competition, but you're shy about telling people what's going on. I mean, if you're okay with competition, then that's okay, but that doesn't mean you don't say anything. I mean, you're competing secretly.
I love the game.
I feel like there could be a potential for you to be heartbroken.
I mean, it can happen.
Oh, I missed the whole... Maybe some of you were really yelling at me earlier. I missed the whole thing. What Jackie was saying was, there's this other guy that's really into me, and I have feelings with him, and he just gave me an ultimatum. I thought he left. I thought that's what was happening. So, sorry for being annoyingly obtuse and not picking up on that.
On this planet, if you marry me, will you marry me, Jackie?
Of course I'll marry you. I'll marry you 1,000 times.
Hold me closer, don't let go.
And every
Yeah, that brings a tear to the eye.
soul, in every realm, in every life, I'm here with you, I promise.
Everything's so great at this phase. It's before all the conflict and the pain and the suffering and the disappointment and the yelling at each other and the hatred. It's before all that. This is why the rom-coms usually end right here. They don't usually go on to what we're about to watch.
Hi,
Hey.
how are you?
That would be intense, though. That would be intense. I think this is the most poignant thing of this show, is these moments. If even just half of these are as genuine as they seem, the intensity of falling in love and proposing and wanting to spend the rest of your life with someone and having these so many hours of deep conversation with no distractions and all your hopes and dreams, and you have no idea what they look like. Maybe there's a hint here and there, but you just have no idea. And of course, there are people that can't see at all. And so for them, it's a similar thing. But you can't even hug them. You can't hear them. When they're talking in the pods, they're on a speakerphone. They're not talking through the wall. There's a microphone, from what I understand. And to hear their voice, to be able to hug them and kiss them, it just must be an intense feeling. The buildup, right? And that process of walking on the thing and the cameras, and it must just be so intense.
We'll call it Real Thing.
Ooh.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. So you're gonna give me a little bit of a chorus. Now let me just figure out how it's gonna go.
Okay.
So it's gonna go.
It needs to be tuned. The guitar needs to be tuned. Tune the guitar.
Then right here you're gonna go, I just want the real thing.
Sometimes when you put a capo on, it will cause everything to be out of tune relative to each other a little bit more, because each string will compress a different amount when you actually use those capos. And some capos they're strapped on too tight, and anyway, I love using the capo, so sometimes it's annoying that you have to retune every time you put a capo on. But anyway, maybe that's what happened. It doesn't sound like it. It sounds like it started with it not being in tune. But God bless everyone. This is a romantic moment. Why would I want to ruin that?
Just want the real thing.
Uh-huh.
I just want the real
Hey.
thing.
You said that she's in love with me. I just want to show her now. She said that we gon' have to wait a couple days.
Now, he said he was going to write a song with her, which I actually really enjoy doing stuff like that, where you literally, even with someone that's not a songwriter or a musician, you can ask them certain questions to guide you, where they're actually involved. And I thought he was going to do that. He didn't do that. He just wrote a song, and maybe he was just meaning it figuratively, like he's going to write with. One of the most greatest moments of my life was with I don't know, top 10 moments, top 20 moments, particularly in my family, was my parents had their 50th wedding anniversary almost 10 years ago. They're coming up on their 60th, which we're going to celebrate as a large family together. But we did that 9 years ago with my family, and there were, 20 of us, 15 of us. And I did this. Me and my brother brought out our guitars, and I said, okay, let's write a song together. And I would ask people for chord ideas, and then I would play it, and then I would ask people for melody ideas, and then we would collaborate on the lyrics. And it was one of the funnest experience. We were in Yellowstone, and so the song was about Yellowstone. And of course, in my family, everything comes back to humorous things such as farting. And so the song involved in the chorus, it ends with this poot. Do people say that for farts? Poots? I'm pooting. It's just one of the most precious memories and videos. Maybe I'll show a snippet of it here. I don't know.
Bison, 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 bear, bear, bear. Ooh. Zip, zip, zip. Splash, splash, splash.
Oh boy.
Congratulations, brother.
Oh yeah.
Hell yes. It was honestly so scary. She drug it out and was like.
Does Paul know that Kwame was really into Micah? Either he doesn't know, or he's playing it off, or I don't know. But I will say, it's great to see some camaraderie among the cast members. They haven't been highlighting that or emphasizing that, aside from Micah and Irina. So it's good to see, and especially Kwame coming up and seeing above it and, saying, hey, that's why we're here. And she didn't want to be with me. She wants to be with you. There's no one did me wrong. It's just like dating. That's what happens. So very mature of him, very adult of him. And for me, when I see this scene, what I think about is the end of Karate Kid, the first one, where Johnny comes up to Daniel and gives him the trophy. It still makes me cry just even thinking about it. I saw that movie in the theater when I was a kid at the age of, 10 or 11, and it really spoke to me and still does. It's not a very good movie, honestly. The TV show is great. The first 2 seasons in particular, oh my gosh, it's so great. But anyway, it reminds me of that. What does he say to Daniel? Like, you did it, Daniel, or what does he say? You're all right, LaRusso. So Kwame comes up and says, you're all right, Paul.
Hell yes! It was honestly so scary. She like drug it out and was like, I thought she was gonna say no. I really did, the way that she was phrasing it, but
Like after you had asked it?
yeah, like her response, but she was just fucking.
I didn't show the proposal. It was in their fashion, in Paul and Micah's fashion, very subdued, very restricted. But, you know, it's fine. People can communicate how they communicate. And of course, maybe that's what makes them compatible, is they're both like that. His proposal was very, and compared to other proposals, very subdued, very lacking in emotion. Her acceptance was the same. If I didn't hear the content of what they were talking about, I would have thought that they were talking about a business transaction of some kind, a very unemotional question and answer. So it's fine. I guess one could argue I'm biased about Micah since what I've seen thus far, but there's nothing inherently problematic about that. It's notable, though. I don't know what it means. Of course, the temptation is to say, well, it means that they're not really in love with each other or something along those lines, or one of them isn't. Kwame came up and hugged, and Paul hugged him back, didn't eye contact with. So I just hope that Paul doesn't know about Kwame and Micah, and that's why Paul is so, I don't know, just non-acknowledging of what's happening.
Fuck about me.
All right,
So excited.
drinks.
I feel like I'm gonna explode.
But I will say that I can't help but to feel like these individuals are representing my town that I love. And so when I see positive behavior, it just is reassuring to me that people in my town aren't all jerk faces.
Explode, bro. Cheers. No,
Right? You shake it.
hey, look at hold on. Let's show that shake a little bit.
I have a suspicion that this show is seriously trying to sell these glasses. They are highlighting them in situations where it doesn't make any sense.
All right,
So excited.
drinks.
I feel like I'm gonna explode, bro. Cheers. No,
Right? You shake it.
hey, look.
I mean, why would you do that? Like, it's not relevant. It's not part of the story. It's just like, okay, let's really focus.
Hold on. Let's show that shake a little bit.
Cheers to Paul.
Shake it off.
Hey, to Paul and Micah. Paul and Micah, let's go.
And yeah, you feel bad for Kwame. I didn't show, but Kwame and Chelsea were connecting, and seemingly that was someone that was on Kwame's list, right? Chelsea really conveyed to Kwame that she was really into him and was really like, hey, let's make this happen. You're my number one. I'm not looking at anyone else. And Kwame's like, I'm kind of looking at Micah. So it sounds like, and Kwame said something that I thought was good and hard to know if it's accurately applied, but he's saying, I want to love someone who loves me the way that I want to be loved, I think is what he's saying. And I can't remember exactly what he's saying, but it made sense that was a wise way of looking at it in terms of who he is choosing. And of course, what we see behind the scenes with Micah, all of us are like, Kwame, it's okay. The universe gave you a gift with what happened there.
That an ego hit like that would probably destroy me. Oh my God. What? That felt like an eternity.
I thought I was gonna pass out.
Oh my God.
Okay. I mean, let's hope it works out for the best. It's starting out okay. But I don't know. Maybe the things will be fine.
I feel like that is should be the order of operations. Like, cut this interview short. Let's roll out.
You're so handsome.
Thank you. Yeah, you're beautiful.
Thank
You're
you.
absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like so nervous right now.
Yeah, I'm
like,
still
I'm
so
still
nervous.
really. Oh my God, hearing your voice to your face is so weird. In just 4 weeks, I'm gonna.
Yeah, I can relate to that because if you listen to the radio or talk radio or a podcast and you don't know what the individuals look like, it can sometimes be jarring to actually see a video or to see the person in person talking because you become very intimate with their voice. And you might even have an amorphous, at least for me, I have like an amorphous idea of what they might kind of look like. It's hard not to imagine what they would look like. And then when you see the actual person, of course, it doesn't match up with your imagination usually much. And it sounds like the voice, the intimate voice coming out of not the thing that you thought it would, or at least it's coming out of a thing that actually is in 3D, and it can be jarring at times. Sometimes people will, in public, even, they don't know what I look like, but they will hear me yammering, because I'm always yammering. You know, I'll be at a restaurant or a bar or something, and I'll just be talking with my friends, and I'm yammering. And I don't have a super loud voice, but it's not quiet. Anyway, people will walk by, and they'll hear my voice, and they'll be like, "Are you Dr. Kirk Honda?" I'm like, "Yeah." And they'll say, "I didn't know what you look like, but I could tell by the sound of your voice because I've been listening to your podcast for so long." Now, of course, for y'all, you would never do that because you know what I look like because you're watching me right now. And I'll tell you, sometimes I don't like the way people look in real life. And I've learned that if I really love a podcast, I might purposely not look up the way people look in real life because the version I have in my head is better than the real life version, which sounds really weird. But, you know, I think most audio people, producers, you know, content providers are fine with that. That's why they're making audio stuff. All right, well, that does it for that episode. Everyone, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.